Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu.
Hello, welcome. This is Celebration TV News Desk, and I'm Femi Marks. Here are the headlines. 40 infected doctors and health workers discharged. Madagascar to sign confidentiality clause with WHO on COVID organics. China begins move to impose controversial on-com security law. 10 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 15 years, says marketers. And on sports, Rowe accepts new 2-year deal to coach Eagles. Stay with us. We'll give you details after the short break. You're welcome. 40 infected doctors and health workers discharged. 40 out of 50 doctors and health workers that got infected with COVID-19 in Minu Kano Teaching Hospital, Kano, over the last 3 weeks have tested negative and discharged from isolation centers. This is contained in a statement by the Assistant Director, Information and Public Affairs of the hospital, Ajia Ahu Muhammad. According to Mohammed, the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Abdurraham Sheshu, made the disclosure while receiving donations of some hospital consumable and food items. The donation was from Orange Drugs Limited, one of the suppliers of drugs to the hospital. It said that the remaining 10 staff in isolation were doing very well and would probably be discharged this weekend. And moving forward, Nigerian federal government asked churches, mosques in order to submit guidelines for reopening. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Enhanire, said COVID-19 patients who spent a long period at isolation centers will have the risk of depression. Enhanire, who stated this in Abuja at the press conference of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, said government plan to deploy psychologists in isolation centers to take care of such patients. At the press conference, the Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Iyekweazu, said the task force was reluctant to adopt home treatment it once proposed because of the conditions under which Nigerians live. He also asked professional groups and faith-based organizations, including churches and mosques, to submit guidelines for reopening to the NCDC to review and advise. In other stories, federal government of Nigeria declares Monday and Tuesday Eid al-Fitr holidays. The federal government has declared Monday 25th and Tuesday 26th as public holidays to mark this year's ENQUIRY. The Minister of Interior of Benin, Raouf Arebashola, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated the Muslim faithfuls for the successful completion of the Ramadan fast. Arebashola called on them to replicate the life of kindness, love, tolerance, peace, and good neighborliness as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He also expressed his concern about ethnic conflict that had resurfaced in some parts of the northern Nigeria. He advised Nigerians to see themselves as one and learn to tolerate one another despite their ethnic and religious differences. Arebashola assured Nigerians of the commitment of the regime of the President Muhammadu Buhari against COVID-19 with the cooperation of all Nigerians. The minister commended security agencies for the successes recorded in a fight against the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast. Away from that now, coming from around Africa, Madagascar to sign confidentiality clause with WHO on COVID-19 organics. President Andre Rajoelina says Madagascar will sign a confidentiality clause with the World Health Organization on the formulation of COVID-19 COVID organics, the purported cure for the coronavirus pandemic. He disclosed this after a teleconference with WHO boss Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. He also said the WHO would agree to support the country's clinical observation process. He posted on Twitter and said it was a successful exchange with Dr. Tedros, who commends Madagascar's efforts in the fight against COVID-19. WHO boss also tweeted saying it was a good call with His Excellency Rajoelina, President of Madagascar, about COVID-19 situation in his country. Mr. Tedros said they discussed how to work together on therapeutic research and development, and they agreed that solidarity is the key to fighting the pandemic and keeping the world safe. And still from around Africa, Burundi awaits polls result as opposition alleges fraud. Polling station closed across Burundi in a large incident-free process. Keenly watched general elections. The polls we usher in the post-Nkurunziza era, but voters also cast ballots for lawmakers and local level representatives. Burundians stood in long lines outside polling stations. Most centers at hand-washing points for people arriving to vote, and election officials had some protective equipment in some instances. After casting his ballot, Nkurunziza praised Burundians for the peaceful conduct of the process, which he reiterated had been fully funded with local finances. He stressed that politics was meant to serve the greater benefit of the populace. He arrived at the polling station on a bicycle surrounded by his guards. He wore a tracksuit of his club, Hallelujah FC, with a brown cowboy hat with the Burundian flag. Preliminary results are expected by May 25th. The election took place despite an outbreak of the coronavirus. Burundi so far recorded 42 cases, 21 active cases, 20 recoveries, and 1 death as of May 21st, 2020. Meanwhile, main opposition candidate Agathon Rwasa has protested what he says is fraud in general election. He said his party's election observers were chased away from some polling stations. His National Freedom Council, CNL, party is also accused supporters of the ruling party of multiple voting. Neither the Electoral Commission nor the ruling party has commented on these allegations. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll give you update from China, still on COVID-19 move. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds. Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
Destiny-empowering.
And spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
Together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
You're welcome back. China begins to move to impose controversial Hong Kong security law. China's ruling Communist Party has set in motion a controversial national security law for Hong Kong, a move seen as a major blow to the city's freedoms. The laws to ban treason, secession, sedition, and subversion could bypass Hong Kong's lawmakers. Critics say China is breaking its promise to allow Hong Kong freedoms not seen elsewhere in China. It is likely to fool public anger and may even trigger fresh protests and demand for democratic reform. The plan was submitted at the annual National People's Congress, which largely rubber stamps decisions already taken by the communist leadership, but is still the most important political event of the year. Hong Kong was always meant to have introduced such laws after its handover to Chinese rule in 1997. It never could, and after last year's wave of sustained and violent protests, Beijing is now attempting to push them through. Beijing believes law-based and forceful measures must be taken to prevent, stop, and punish such protests in the future. And more update from the United Kingdom now. United Kingdom arrivals could face £1,000 fines if they break quarantine. Anyone arriving in the United Kingdom from abroad could be fined £1,000 if they fail to self-isolate for 14 days. The government is expected to announce this. Under the plans, health officials will be able to carry out spot checks to check whether people were complying. The new rules, which will also apply to British people returning from abroad, are not expected to come into force until next month. Home Secretary Privy Pate will give more details at the daily briefing. As part of the plans, which aim at guiding against a second wave of coronavirus infections, all arrivals will be asked to fill in a form with their contact information. Any passengers arriving in the United Kingdom by plane, ferry, or train will need to provide UK Border Force officials with an address where they will self-isolate. Otherwise, accommodation will be arranged by the government. And that was an interesting one there. Now to business news. 10 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 15 years, says marketers. The federal government has spent about 10 trillion naira subsidizing petroleum products in the last 15 years. The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria said, observed that moment and other stakeholders, including the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria and the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, said there was a need for full deregulation in the petroleum downstream sector. They stated this during the Nigerian Petroleum Downstream Consultative Summit, which was held online. The chairman, Mr. Adetunji Oyebanji, described the downstream sector as pivotal and fundamental to the health of the nation's economy. Oyebanji is a managing director, chief executive officer of the Double One PLC, formerly Mobile Oil Nigerian PLC. According to him, there are adequate structures that can be put in place to ensure that the consumers are not cheated when market forces are allowed to determine prices. And still on business, mortgage payments holiday extended for further 3 months in the United Kingdom. Homeowners struggling financially due to coronavirus will be able to extend their mortgage payment holiday for a further 3 months or cut payment. Mortgage holiday started in March, allowing people to defer payment without affecting their credit rating. That respite from payment will end for the first applicant in June, and the Treasury said the extension will provide certainty for those affected. However, it said borrowers should still pay their mortgages if they were able. The deferred payment will still have to be paid back later on, so mortgage customers will face higher bills once the so-called holiday comes to an end. However, the Treasury was concerned an abrupt end to the scheme could produce a cliff edge effect, with families facing money problem as bad, if not worse, as they did when the virus struck. Christopher Woolard, interim chief executive at financial regulator, the Financial Conduct Authority (FCA), said that if customers could afford to restart mortgage payments, it is in their best interest to do so. We'll go on another break now. We'll be returned. We'll give you details on sport news. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
Destiny-empowering.
And spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
Together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
reap a good again.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome back now to Sports Stories. Rowe accept new 2-year deal to coach Eagles. Super Eagles coach Garnet Rowe agreed to terms of a new 2-year contract sent to him by the Nigerian Football Federation. A member of Rowe's backroom staff confirmed that the Eagles coach had already agreed to the terms of the new deal. They said the draft sent to the Franco-German was agreed on, and the Federation will send contract document to the coach to sign latest next week. Rowe, whose contract with the NFL expires in June, had been in contract renewal talks with the Federation since the beginning of the year. NFL President Amaju Picnic had listed some of the conditions the Federation gave Rowe before his contract could be renewed, which state that he must live in Nigeria and also watch the Nigerian Professional Football League matches to scout for home-based talent. The Franco-German will also be paid in Nigerian currency. The 66-year-old first took the Eagles job in August 2016 before signing a 2-year contract renewal in 2018 January after qualifying the national team for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. He led the side to a group stage outing at the World Cup before winning bronze at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt. In other sports stories, Manchester United says the pandemic has cost them £28 million so far. Manchester United say the coronavirus pandemic has cost them an initial £28 million and expect the final figure to be far higher. United revealed their third quarter result to 31st March. Chief Financial Officer Cliff Barty said they are set to hand back £20 million in TV revenue to broadcasters if the Premier League season is completed. United lost an additional £8 million over the final 3 weeks of March when they had 3 matches postponed. A total of 11 United matches have been postponed because of the pandemic. Speaking at a conference call after the latest financial results were released, Barty explained that Premier League television broadcaster will get £20 million back from the club because of changes in date and kickoff times resulting from the pandemic. With games called up, including matches in the Europa League and FA Cup, Barty said the sponsorship revenues had contracted and the retail sales had been impacted with the club store at Old Trafford still closed. He added that match day revenues were significantly impacted, with acceptance games will be played behind closed doors for the foreseeable future. And that's all we have for you today. News from Celebration TV News Desk. In case you missed the stories, here are the headlines again. 40 infected doctors and health workers discharged. Madagascar to sign confidentiality clause with WHO on COVID organics. And also from China, they begin to move to impose controversial on-com security law. 10 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 15 years, says marketers. And on sport, Rowe accept new 2-year deal to coach Eagles. Thanks for staying tuned to Celebration TV News Desk. On the screen is the photo of the day, and it says, if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall in place. So take that again. If you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. You can join us on our social media platforms and then lend your comment, lend your opinion onto that photo of the day and tell us what you think about it. On Facebook, it is Celebration TV. On Instagram, it is My Celebration TV. On Twitter, it is at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, it is www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. You can also watch us on Skype channel 595 and also on all our apps across all platforms. The continuous transformation of a society is a collective responsibility of all, no matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a top leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, as a person pursuing passion. You have a duty to give all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part and do it with all your diligence. Thanks for staying tuned to Celebration TV News X and enjoy your day. I'm Premier Max. Bye for now.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu.
Reflect.